All right, welcome to Talking Shop. We got a nice short text here today, Matthew chapter 22, 15 through 22. Paying taxes to Caesar. Render unto Caesar the things that are his. We'll have some good conversation. Preaching this, being careful to not make all of our hearers maybe Pharisees and Herodians. So then how then do we preach this? We'll have some good conversation about that. Brilliant moves by our Lord. Maybe should inspire us to do likewise in our tasks. But take a minute to like and subscribe. Check out craftofpreaching.com if you haven't done that yet. And let's get after it.
Spit out my Lord in every way. Yet I'm still welcome in the arms of the King.
Okay, Matthew chapter 22, 15 through 22. Nice short little text about paying taxes and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Picks up right after what we finished off last week.
Down with the IRS.
A good text. So let's see here.
Probably should be preached in April, right? Tax season, not here in October.
When the Pharisees, then the Pharisees went and plotted how to ensnare him, entangle him, get him trapped up in his what?
Words.
Yeah.
Like
it's great. It's a great we're gonna try to catch him in his words.
Yeah.
The Word made flesh.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen. But I think it's important that's their first attempt.
Yeah.
This is how we're gonna get him.
Yeah.
Well, all along, I mean, if you take all the Gospels combined, especially in John, but the whole argument over Sabbath, the whole
Sure.
you think all this time he's had arguments with them and they haven't been able to do anything.
Right.
And so in this section, what you see is them try to try to get him to say something that the Romans will take as offense at.
Yeah.
So that they can kind of wipe their hands on
Yeah.
it.
Now we got him.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Well, in our translation, it says, then the Pharisees went to council. So they were really trying to sit here and plot and really map this out.
Yeah. The other thing, Paul hasn't even said it yet, but they plotted with the Herodians. And if you know anything about the Pharisees and the Herodians in Josephus, those two groups did not like each other.
No.
Yeah, it's sort of the enemy of my enemy is my friend thing, right?
Yeah.
Because that's definitely it, right? So they sent their disciples to him along with the Herodians.
Mm-hmm.
So you're seeing this opposition against Christ kind of coalesce.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and maybe they thought the Herodians, because they were the Herodians, kind of being more in with Rome.
Yeah.
If the Herodians would have evidence against him, then they'd be more believable and they'd have a case. And
Exactly.
everything. But still, two groups that don't
and
like each
so then you get this very heavy
Flattery.
right? What do they say to him as they come to him? What sort of things are they saying about Jesus?
Teacher, we know that you are true and teach the way of God truthfully, and you do not care about anyone's opinion, for you are not swayed by appearances or swayed by faces.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it's again, it's true what they're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not saying it because it's true.
No.
Right? This is
No.
I used to sometimes think of like especially early Luther when he would dedicate something to the Pope,
Right.
It's this very sort of flattery,
Right.
I'm trying to help you because you don't know what's going on out here kind of thing. It's this, but it's this kind of language, over the top. They're framing the question this way. We know you're true. We know you're doing these things.
Ironically, they don't think that even though they flatter him with that he's going to be able to see right through them.
Yeah.
That's kind of
and
the
it's great too,
ironic thing about it.
You're not swayed by appearances, and we're trying to put the best appearance on this as possible, right? Tell us then what you think, all right? And what's their question?
Is it lawful to pay taxes to Caesar or not?
Yeah.
It's a great question.
It is a good question. And there's a lot, I think, kind of packed in there. What does that mean? What sort of questions kind of your second and third question from this would be, like, what is it about paying taxes to Caesar that's an issue?
I mean, do we support this guy at
Okay.
all? You know, I mean, we've been oppressed. We don't like that, and we're just prolonging it ourselves by paying money to him.
Yeah.
Well, also it's the Roman occupation of the Holy City, right?
That's
So
right.
like that's what they're kind of upset about this whole entire time is that the Romans have came in and they've taken over their city, and then they're semi-defiling the Holy City.
Yeah.
And so if you're paying taxes to him, that means you're supporting his occupation of the Holy City.
Yeah, so do we acknowledge pagan authority?
Yep.
Yep.
Should we pay homage to one who is occupying the Holy Land?
Yep.
Right. On that side of it, and then and then third, do the taxes, paying taxes actually then encourages him to do this to others even, and helps him to further this, and so are we loving our neighbor by paying taxes to Caesar?
All that.
So there's all kinds of stuff in there that could be the
Yeah.
second and third questions.
Yeah, so you could ask these other questions. You could run down this. You could have a lot of conversations with nuance on
Sure.
the benefits of paying taxes.
And some of the same questions we could ask today.
That's
as
what I was
believers
thinking,
who live in a world with secular government.
could be a great way to tackle this in a sermon. Like, of course, we're bound by the law to pay taxes, but like, what are you doing with that tax money? Should you send your money to do that, to support these things, those things? I mean, that's kind of easy to preach it this way. I would think, right?
Yep.
You're supporting some terrible things with your tax dollars, right? So, do you do it or not? And Jesus, as the English says, aware of their malice.
Yeah. Yeah, so here's where the conversation would change from your congregation, because
Yes.
now you're asking those questions honestly.
Yes.
They're doing it because they want to trip somebody
That's
up.
a great
Snare 'em.
point.
Yeah.
And do not confuse that.
Right.
Your people in your congregation are not the Pharisees and the Herodians trying to trap
not all
Jesus.
of them.
Yeah, there might be some, right? There probably are some, but most are not, right? So he's aware of what they're trying to do.
Now he's going to deconstruct them in front of
Yeah,
everyone.
and he calls them, he puts them right on the spot. He calls them what?
Hypocrites.
Yeah,
Why?
at the end of the day,
Why put me to the test, you hypocrites?
Yep.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be called a hypocrite. He calls them right out. And then he just says, let me see the tax coin, right?
Yep. Object lesson.
Yeah. Bring me the coin. I mean, come on. Brilliant move. I mean, I know we've heard this before, but what a brilliant move, right? Bring me the coin.
Yeah.
Again, you could do this part today, right, with those kind of questions. And I think it kind of plays out the same.
Well, my coin says, in God we trust.
Yeah, but whose name and inscription is on the coin,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Well, the real hypocrisy of it is they have one. Like, they're using the money.
Yeah.
They don't have any problems with using
Yeah.
the
Yep.
money for what they're doing.
Yeah.
So that's their real hypocrisy, is that they actually, in asking the questions, they're still using all of the benefits that come with that, the other side of that. So,
Right?
Yeah.
So this is the coin you would pay tax with. They bring it to him. It's a denarius. And his question is, whose likeness and inscription is this?
Who's
right?
nil?
Yeah.
Name likeness or name, image, and likeness.
Yeah. What is it, right? And what's the answer?
Caesar's.
Caesar.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course. Why would it be anybody
Temporal
else?
authority.
Yeah.
Right?
I almost feel sorry for these guys. It's like Jesus knows just how to get them to answer. He's in control, they're not.
Yeah.
And it's so great. So they say, Caesar's.
Yeah.
Do you know what
so
you
this
just...
is Caesar's denarius? So if Caesar asked for a denarius, I should probably give him one.
Yeah,
Right? I mean, it's Caesar's
it's
after all.
clearly his name is on it, right?
Oh, boy.
Yeah. I mean, it's really brilliant. I mean, it truly is.
Yeah.
And therefore render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's. Now, this is where preaching this, you could take a lot of angles, but certainly something you could mine is, well, then what are the things of God?
Sure.
There you
Right.
go.
We
Get your
know
litany.
that then the money these things, these temporal things, these are the world's things.
Yeah.
They're not God's things.
Yeah.
I mean, in that regard, right?
Right.
And God has even given those. You could say, like, you could do the
Sure.
whole two kingdoms stuff here easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are under God's too. But He says, no, give it to him. It's fine.
Yeah.
No big deal, right?
Right.
So, what are the things of God? Like, how much you?
Heart, soul, mind, and strength.
Okay.
Yeah. And love your neighbor.
Well, our flesh and body, right? Because we were created in His image.
Sure.
And we're talking about image. We were created in His image.
Yeah.
Therefore, give our heart, mind, body, and soul.
Even more than that, His commands. Matthew's got, I mean, it doesn't start that way, but when Jesus shows up on the scene, this is my son whom I love, listen to him.
Yep.
And so to not listen to him is to not give to God the things that are God's.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He who rejects me rejects him who sent me.
Yeah. 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 So this kind of calling you back, almost throwing you back to Christ alone, becomes everything here.
When we tend to make everything else God. So
Yes.
if we can just get the right government, then our lives will be
Yes.
better. If we
Yes.
can
Yeah.
just change the laws, our lives will be better. If we can just get more income, then our lives will be better.
Yeah.
And all of that is, if you will, rejecting the things of God that are more important, that are more weighty.
I wonder if preaching this, just kind of thinking it through, because in a sense it's not doing exactly what the text is doing, but it's applying. What I mean is this is, like you said, like the caution is the people in our pews are not the Pharisees and the Herodians trying to trap Jesus in his words.
Right.
That's not it. But the truth that he speaks in spoiling their attempt can be applied much broader, I guess is what I'm getting at. So you could do, like, I like the idea of doing sort of the two realms kind of stuff of, like, because we get consumed in this, right? It's because it's so much of our life. And that a sermon that basically uses that phrase over and over again, I'm thinking of it that way. It's like, render unto Caesar's what is Caesar's and God's what is God's. Like, like you don't have to, like, get caught up in this game of trying, like you were saying, make the government get in line with the church so that the church can now thrive or whatever. Like, the government will do its thing. And the Lord's the Lord over all of it, right? But you just let them have their thing, and you attend to what God has called you to.
Yeah.
His word. Listen to His Son.
To think somehow that then that's God's work, when He's actually given the church plenty of work to do.
Plenty of work,
is to not honor or to give the things to God that are God's.
Yeah.
And then the constant battle of us trying to deal with God in a legalistic sense, right? You see the Pharisees here trying to deal with Jesus in a legalistic way, and we, too many times when we come to God, we try to deal with Him in a legalistic manner where we're like, well, God, today I prayed to you today, so I should, it should be better today, right? I should have these things I want or what I need, and if I trust in you this way, then you should make things work out for me. And it always makes me think about people saying, like, why do you pray for God for strength and wisdom and stuff like that? No, He gives you adversity, He gives you problems, so you can develop strength and wisdom, right?
Right, yeah.
So, but no, we always tend to, we want to put God in a structure, but the problem is He gave us a structure, we couldn't keep it, and therefore that's why He's dealing with us in love and mercy. We were talking about the Les Mis play earlier, mercy wins, right? So even if we try to deal with God legally, His mercy is so great that it triumphs.
Yeah,
that's good.
All right, man, good stuff. Nice short little text there, but some good conversation. I think a great opportunity to preach. We get, especially, I just think, like, man, I know my folks, I'm sure they get so consumed in the political discourses and these things. And maybe there's just this great reminder in the heart of this is, man, give to Caesar his stuff.
And even these guys who were ensnaring him or trying to, it says when they left, they marveled.
Yeah.
Like, he won that one too.
Yeah.
It's
Again,
like 3-0.
It is a brilliant move by him. Take a moment to like and subscribe if you haven't done that yet. Share your thoughts on this text and how maybe how you're going to preach it or have preached it in the past. That's always very helpful. Check out craftofpreaching.com. There'll be some articles there on this and the other texts. And God bless your preaching.